Yeah, Arion, when you look at Ohio State's offense and you look at their two running backs, what do you see out of their running game, and what is there differences between the two backs? What do you see out of them on film?
I feel like those two play complementary football together. Honestly, when you look at the two as a whole, in the backfield as a whole, you got a really special group. You got a group that's very explosive, very fast, very twitchy, and be able to make things work and happen with nothing sometimes. And I really have a lot of respect for that group as a whole. You got two, I assume, Big Ten, All American type running backs and future first and second round draft picks. So I feel like working with that group, you really have to study that group and really have a lot of respect for them and attack at full speed when you're going at that group, especially along with a very, very good O-line they have.
Just to follow that up, what's the respect factor of you guys for the skill players that Ohio State has? Obviously, you played a lot of great ones in the SEC. How did those guys compare to what you usually see?
Yeah, I feel like they're as good as anybody in the SEC, I feel like, and I feel like they're as good as anybody in the country. I feel like they have a really good football team, all three phases of the game, including offense in general. I feel like they have a really good quarterback who's able to quarterback the offense at a very high level and make checks and calls, and you have a really good offensive receiving core as a whole in general. That's really a really strong suit for them, and I feel like as a whole the team is just really, really good. I feel like you can't take anything away from them. You respect them like any other opponent going into it, and we got to go out there and put our best foot forward at the end of the day.
Arion, without Jalen Smith in that room, he had gotten more and more snaps as the year has gone on. How do you expect that rotation to kind of go, and how much of a factor do you think Edwin Spillman will be since we saw him against Vanderbilt?
Yeah, I feel like we come in every day, and Edwin's gotten with me every day, and we're always in the film room. And he's a young guy who wants to get better, and he has a really high ceiling. So I feel like him coming in and stepping in that role, coming back off injury, I feel like he's going to be really, really good for us. And I feel like in the room in general in our rotation, I feel like we'll have a healthy rotation still at the end of the day, and I feel like. Good luck to Jalen and best of luck to him. But as far as our room goes, I feel like even though we lost a brother, we still have to keep going and pushing forward at the end of the day.
So Patrick and then Brent.
Aaron, we talked a lot about with you going into the season about your growth during the offseason. How do you think you've grown during the season, and where maybe have you exceeded your own expectations, or where else can you continue to improve?
There's always room for improvement at the end of the day, but as far as what I've seen and just doing a self-evaluation, I feel like my communication on the field has gotten really good. I feel like being able to just quarterback the defense and be able to get everybody lined up and set and make checks and calls and be able to stay poised and have the IQ and the self-awareness on the field to see different things of offenses and be able to pick up on stuff that's able to win the little margins in the ball games has been my biggest thing, and just really being able to analyze offenses.
Brent, and I'm going to page him back.
How much did you need a couple of weeks to kind of heal up, because you played a lot of snaps? And then as a linebacker, how hard is it to stay in kind of tackling rhythm when you go and don't play for, you got a 3-week break basically, or 2.5-week break before playing?
Yeah, as far as tackling goes, it's really about what do you do before you get into the strike zone. As far as tackling, having great body position, being able to be there, great time, being able to be under control when you're there, and just being able to have as many reps possible that you're in tackling position and good football position. As far as those weeks and having good practice habits at the end of the day is all you need, I feel like, to keep yourself sharp.
Where do you feel like the linebacker room has taken the next step as far as protecting the middle of the field, knowing OSU has a number of wide receivers they like to use?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Protecting the middle of the field, I guess just where do you think that you and that group have grown in protecting the middle of the field, especially when you look at those
coverages,
quick slant routes? Yeah.
Right. I feel like as a whole, our pass coverage has gotten really, really good over the years and over the months as the season went on. It's really about communication and chemistry, being able to be tied in with the linebackers in the secondary, and I feel like we've done a really, really good job up to this point. I feel like we have still room to grow, but, as we keep going, we trust in Coach Banks and putting us in the best position to go win, and we have to go execute at the end of the day.
Any more questions from the room for Arion? Ryan?
Coach Inge has that playoff experience from a year ago with Washington. Have you had any conversations with him about that, or is that kind of something that's a little overblown?
I mean, it's always great having a coach that has been there, done that, and been in the situation and made it that far. A lot of teams haven't went that far, and a lot of coaches haven't went that far. So to have his experience has been really, really great because he knows what it takes to get to that point. He knows what it takes to win ball games, and he knows what it takes to put ourselves in and play championship level football. So it's just been great having him in the room.
Anything else for Arion from the room?
All right, we'll go again. If there's any questions from the Zoom, please use the raise your hand function or put it in the chat that you have a question. We'll call on you. We'll give you a few seconds. If not, we'll let Arion go here. All right, I think you're good, Arion.